Vanguard Gifted Academy's education channel. This is episode number 2 of our new exploration series, What It's Like to Be a Parent of a Gifted Child. I'm Nancy Zaccagnini, and I am a parent of a gifted child. Raising a gifted child can be both an extreme joy and an extreme challenge. Some of the things that I recognized early on about my son was that he was very alert as a baby. He had a very intense focus. He also started doing things very early. He was sounding out the alphabet at 11 months old. At 16 months old, he could say his alphabet both forward and in reverse. He taught me how to do it. At the age of 40, I had never known how to do it. He could count endlessly in many different languages. He could skip count all the way up to 12s by the age of 2. It was his decision to actually learn different languages. I was blown away. I just thought that he was intrigued by a lot of different things, and I really didn't understand giftedness. At first, I thought it was a photographic memory. Then I started doing some research. I knew nothing about giftedness. I started reading a lot of books. Raising a Gifted Child by Carol Fertig, Living with Intensity by Susan Daniels. I also started researching Facebook pages. I found one that was extremely helpful, Parents of Gifted and High Ability Children. I also started delving in and just eating up every article I could possibly find because I just wanted to know more to help my son. I started noticing other moms, noticing that my son was different. They started noticing that he was more advanced than the other kids in his social groups. I even had moms say things to me like, wow, you have a genius there, or you must really spend a lot of time with him, or boy, I'm a bad mom because my kids don't know those things. I would say, oh no, every child has a gift. This just happens to be his gift. He's advanced in this area, but behind in this area. But then I started noticing that they kind of thought I was bragging about the things that he was achieving. I started noticing that we weren't getting invited to certain play dates. We weren't getting invited to outings. I even had a neighbor that started avoiding me, and I later found out that she was feeling very uncomfortable because her child, who was a bit older, had not reached the same milestones and had obtained the same skills that my son did. So I was hiding that he was gifted. And I started just making up excuses why he knew the things he knew. We even had a child psychologist tell us that we needed to focus more on him playing with his own social group, his own age group, that we shouldn't worry so much about the education part. So we did just that, and what we noticed is our son became frustrated and anxious. He started begging for us to do school. We decided that we wanted to give him what he wanted. And so I started homeschooling him at the age of 3. He very quickly started just consuming all of the information I was giving him. He was flying through a series of books. I could not keep up with what he wanted to learn. He was asking me at the age of 3 to do multiplication, division. Then he started asking me questions about the body. He wanted to know how everything worked, and then he would go to parties and gatherings and tell everyone all the information he had acquired. Well, then he started asking me things that I didn't know the answer to. He started asking me to teach him things that I had no knowledge of. And that's when I realized that I really needed to do something different. I started talking to family and friends that were in the public school district. One of the things that kept coming up from all these folks that worked in the public school district is the public school arena is not the place for him. He will become bored and not challenged, and he will be that kid that gets in trouble. I also heard, don't do that to the teachers. They don't have the time or the resources to foster his education, his growth, what he wants. So I started researching Montessori schools, public schools, STEM schools, private schools. And then my research brought me to Vanguard Gifted Academy. And I sent an email immediately. I received a response very quickly. And within a week, I was visiting Vanguard Gifted Academy. The moment I left that school, I knew it was the place for my son. I knew that there was finally a place that my son would not be different. He would not be the odd kid out. And he would have a world of opportunity opening up for him. And I was so happy. I was so relieved. And I couldn't wait to start him at Vanguard. He now had teachers that understood him and what he was going through. I had someone that I could rely on to talk to and get advice from. And so I'm very grateful that we found Vanguard. This is our journey, and if this resonates with your journey, we'd like to start a conversation with you. We'd like to be a resource for you, so feel free to contact us. As always, we appreciate it. Thank you.